Shopify is one of the biggest e-commerce providers in the world right now. There are close to 4 million individual stores hosted by Shopify, having billions and billions of annual turnover. But that of course leaves the question, which are the biggest Shopify stores out there? And this is exactly what I want to answer in this video, giving you the top 10 of potentially biggest Shopify stores worldwide. Let's get started. And the first one on our list is Kylie Cosmetics. Kylie Cosmetics, of course, is owned by Kylie Jenner, which obviously gave the store a head start when it was first going live. It was one of the first major e-commerce businesses founded by a celebrity, and it was a smashing success. Kylie Jenner already was very well known thanks to her family and all the publicity they were getting, but founding Kylie Cosmetics took her to a whole nother level. In 2019, she was announced to be the youngest self-made billionaire of all times, having just turned 21. Seeing her success, Kim Kardashian of course didn't want to fall behind, so she pretty much copied what Kylie Jenner had done and what had worked so well for her. And this led to another Shopify store called KKW. KKW of course standing for Kim Kardashian West. This is where she was promoting and selling her own makeup line. Now the name actually was changed recently due to legal reasons, and now the store is called Skin by Kim, but the premise has not changed at all. As you can see, Kim is still focused on makeup and leverages her own popularity and persona heavily for that. And it seems to be working well for her. Even under the new brand, the store is estimated to make several hundred millions of dollars in annual turnover. Which brings us to another brand that almost exclusively generates their revenue online. And this one is well known to anyone who's into fitness. It is Gymshark. Gymshark is a fairly new brand, only founded 10 years ago back in 2012, but it has grown enormously since then. And it's one of those great examples where a small company understood their niche well, they understood how to do social media marketing, and they understood the power of e-commerce, and thanks to all these factors managed to rival giant companies like Nike, like Puma, and like Adidas. But of course, Gymshark doesn't only focus on fitness apparel. Instead, they focus on the whole wide range of different needs that any fitness enthusiast might have. And it is a great vertical to be in because all your customers are very enthusiastic about that hobby, meaning fitness, and therefore are frequent buyers. It allowed Gymshark to grow into a billion-dollar company just within 10 years, and therefore also become one of the biggest Shopify stores out there. For the next brand on our list, you might not even know that they are a Shopify customer, but they certainly are, and they are one of the biggest ones. It is Red Bull. Of course, most Red Bulls are sold in convenience stores and supermarkets, but Red Bull also has their own e-com business. And it is a big one. They trust Shopify as their e-commerce solution and leverage all the customization tools that they have there. Of course, for Shopify, it is a great brand name to be connected to, and they make sure that they highlight Red Bull using Shopify whenever possible. And the same is true for the next company on our list, which is also a well-established European business. It is Lindt. Just like Red Bull's energy drinks, Lindt's chocolate of course is mostly found in supermarkets and sold there, so it's not a typical e-commerce company. But Lindt realized the shift of recent years towards shopping online instead of stores, so of course they need to offer all their products online as well. And lo and behold, it turned out that people like buying chocolate online just as much as they like to buy it in stores. So nowadays Lindt makes millions of dollars every year just by selling their products online. And this is a general trend that we are seeing more and more. It's no longer just the e-com native companies that do well by selling online. It's more and more the traditional companies that have been around sometimes for centuries, that discover how to utilize this new channel for themselves. And this is also true for the next company on this list, which is Whole Foods. Whole Foods is known predominantly in the US as a giant supermarket chain and was acquired 2017 by Amazon. Now, of course, Amazon is pretty much synonymous with e-commerce, so it comes as no surprise that Whole Foods also sells their products online these days. And they do so very successfully, especially in the last 2 years during the pandemic. A lot of people wanted to buy their groceries no longer in the physical store, but instead wanted to get it delivered to their doorstep. So if you were eager to shop at Whole Foods but you wanted to avoid meeting people, it was a great solution to simply buy your food online through their Shopify store. And we have pretty much the same situation with the next store on our list. This one is Kraft Heinz. Kraft is one of those truly global players, and many people don't even realize how many brands and sub-brands belong to Kraft. I'm sure pretty much every one of you buys Kraft products on a regular basis, maybe without even knowing. So they would be silly to not at least offer you the option to buy your favorite products online, right? So this is exactly what they did, and just because of how big they are, how truly global their presence is, and how many products they have in their assortment, of course, their e-commerce business was an instant success. The same can be said for yet another big brand name. This one is Budweiser. Budweiser is yet another multi-billion-dollar company that grew their business outside of e-commerce, but recently discovered that e-commerce is simply something that they can't ignore. And of course, a business like Budweiser has enough resources to make sure that their Shopify store becomes a smash hit. And the example of Budweiser just goes to show how important e-commerce has become for really any kind of business. Even if you're selling beer like Budweiser does, which normally is a product that you want to have physically in your hand and take home right away, people are willing to buy it online. So of course it is smart to offer that option for anyone who wants that. The next business on our list of biggest Shopify stores out there is Penguin Books. Unlike beer, books are a typical item to sell online. In fact, that's how Amazon started out, as an online bookstore. Of course, Amazon has outgrown that business and nowadays pretty much sells anything you can think of, but for Penguin Books it makes total sense to offer their entire assortment online. Yet again, one could argue that it is a bit surprising that people go to the actual copy house to buy the books that they're interested in instead of, for example, buying it on Amazon. But apparently a lot of people still like to do just that. Penguin Books also is a very established publishing house. It has a lot of tradition, and I assume that it has a lot of fans all around the world. It currently publishes a lot of the greatest books ever written, so if you're interested in getting a new book, maybe for the summer, I highly recommend that you check out penguin.com. And with that, we have arrived at the last Shopify store on this list. This one is also a well-known brand, especially maybe to the younger generation. It is Sephora. Sephora is yet another brand that sells skincare, makeup products and such, and does so incredibly well. They do have thousands of physical stores, but a lot of the revenue also comes from their e-com sales. And while they might not have the same social media presence as Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner with their makeup products, they more than make up for it by the enormousness of their assortment on the website. On Sephora.com you can find pretty much anything related to beauty and cosmetics that you might be interested in, so it comes as no surprise that they have hundreds of millions in turnover every single year through their website alone. So there you have it, 10 of the biggest e-com websites in the world that are powered by Shopify. Of course, it's always a bit hard to tell how much revenue exactly those websites have, because those are numbers that are not normally made public, but it's safe to guess that those 10 websites are some of the biggest ones worldwide. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.